Good morning or afternoon, depending on when you are reading this. So, we're going to do the last reading in this unit, and it's called Domains and Kingdoms. So, our key question is, how are organisms classified into domains and kingdoms? I would, again, read this Planet Diary. These are good, but for time purposes, I'm just going to move past it real quick. How are organisms classified into domains and kingdoms? Suppose you helped Linus classify organisms. You probably would have identified organisms as either plants or animals. That's because in Linus's time, there was no microscopes to see the tiny organisms that are known to exist today. Microscopes help to discover new organisms and identify differences among cells. Today, a three-domain system of classification is commonly used. It is shown in the table at the top of the next page. The three domains are bacteria, archaea, and eukarya. Within the domains are kingdoms. Organized organisms are placed into domains and kingdoms based on their cell type, their ability to make food, and the number of cells in their bodies. All right, so these are the three domains of life. You have bacteria, archaea, and eukarya. And then under eukarya, you have these four kingdoms: protists, fungi, plants, and animals. Domain bacteria. Although you may not know it, members of the domain bacteria are all around you. You can find them on the surfaces you touch and inside your body. Some bacteria are autotrophs, meaning they make their own food, while others are heterotrophs, meaning they eat other organisms for food. Members of the domain bacteria are called prokaryotes. Prokaryotes are unicellular organisms whose cells lack a nucleus. A nucleus is a dense center in a cell that contains nucleic acids, the chemical instructions that direct the cell's activities. In prokaryotes, nucleic acids are not contained within cells' nucleus. Let's zoom out just a little bit. Domain Archaea. Deep in the Pacific Ocean, hot gases and molten rock spew out of a vent in the ocean floor. It is hard to imagine that any living thing could exist in such harsh conditions. Surprisingly, a group of tiny organisms thrive in such a place. They are members of the domain Archaea, whose name comes from the Greek word for ancient. Like bacteria, Archaea are unicellular prokaryotes. And like bacteria, some archaea are autotrophs and others are heterotrophs. Archaea are classified in their own domain because their chemical makeup differs from that of bacteria. Bacteria and archaea also differ in the structure of their cells. The bacteria in Figure 1 and archaea in Figure 2 have have been stained and magnified to make them easier to see. So there's the bacteria you commonly find in yogurt. I know a lot of you eat yogurt and we're surprised to find out that yogurt is actually a living thing, and here's why. It contains this bacteria, which, by the way, this may look gross and nasty to you, but this is necessary for our body to function. We need this bacteria in our body. And then it says Figure 1, most bacteria such as Lactobacillus acidophilus are helpful. These bacteria help to produce yogurt and milk for people who are lactose intolerant. And then Figure 2, where's Figure 2 at? This may be Figure 2 is, oh yes, this is Archaea bacteria, this magnified version. Archaea can be found in extreme environments such as hot springs, very salty water, and the intestines of cows. Scientists think the harsh conditions in which archaea live are similar to those of ancient Earth. All right, domain Eukarya. What do seaweeds, mushrooms, tomatoes, and dogs have in common? They're all members of the domain Eukarya. Organisms in this domain are eukaryotes, organisms with cells that contain nuclei. Scientists classify organisms in the domain Eukarya into one of four kingdoms: protists, fungi, plants, or animals. And we'll look at protists coming up in about a month or two when we get out the microscopes and you get to look and see these organisms for yourself. A protist is a eukaryotic organism that cannot be classified as a fungus, plant, or animal. Because its members are so different from one another, the protist kingdom is sometimes called the odds and ends kingdom. For example, some protists are autotrophs while others are heterotrophs. Most protists are unicellular, but some, such as seaweed, are multicellular. Fungi. Have you ever eaten a mushroom? Love mushrooms. Then you have eaten fungi. Mushrooms, molds, and mildew are all fungi. The majority of fungi are multicellular eukaryotes. A few, such as the yeast used in baking, are unicellular eukaryotes. Fungi are found almost anywhere on land, but only a few live in fresh water. All fungi are heterotrophs. Most fungi feed by absorbing nutrients from dead or decaying organisms. Plants. Dandelions on a lawn, peas in a garden, and the marsh grass shown here are familiar members of the plant kingdom. Plants are multicellular eukaryotes and most live on land. Also, plants are autotrophs that make their own food. Plants provide food for most of the heterotrophs on land. The plant kingdom includes a great variety of organisms, such as some plants produce flowers while others do not. Some plants, such as the giant redwood trees can grow very tall. Others, like mosses, never grow taller than a few centimeters. Animals. A dog flea on a dog's ear and a cat that a dog chases haven't. Geez, let me just start over. I apologize. A dog, a flea on a dog's ear, and a cat that the dog chases have much in common because all are animals. All animals are multicellular eukaryotes. In addition, all animals are heterotrophs. Animals have different adaptations that allow them to locate food, capture it, eat it, and digest it. Members of the animal kingdom live in diverse environments throughout Earth. Animals can be found from the ocean depths to the mountaintops, from hot, scalding deserts to cold, icy landscapes. Okay, that is the reading. So make sure you got your notes filled out. If, as I was going over this, you wasn't filling out your notes, you need to pull up the PDF version and get them filled out. Have a great day.